Hi everyone and welcome to this drawing video. In this video I want to show you how to draw a cherry tree, and in terms of the materials I used paper from a Daler Rowney Earthbound sketchbook. For the sketching I used a mechanical pencil with HB leads, and then for the colouring I used Prismacolor pencils, specifically blush pink, processed red, mulberry, dark umber and black and white pencils. Then I also used Copic markers, specifically Cool Grey 3, 5 and 7, and then to add a little bit of highlighting I used a Uniball Signo Broad white ink pen. But please don't worry too much about the equipment. As long as you have any kind of colour pencils and any kind of paper in front of you, you'll be able to create something like this. As you can see, I started by working on the initial sketch, and I wanted to imagine that this was an older looking tree hanging off the edge of a rock formation. So I was adding lots of bumps and knots in the wood texture and tried to create some interesting shapes that helped to add to the tree's character, showing its resilience on the edge of the cliff. I even tried to add some curvature to the main trunk of the tree. And then when it was time to work on the branches, I made sure to have a relaxed hand and I let the pencil go in all different directions. I didn't want to add any straight lines and I didn't want to overthink the process. I just wanted to make it look as natural as possible. I found it also very helpful to go outside and get some reference photos just to see all of the amazing and interesting shapes. Once the sketch was completed, I then decided to add a base layer of shading to the entire tree, the trunk and the branches. For this I used a Cool Grey No. 5 Copic marker and just added a full layer of shading over the top, and then added a couple of extra layers in the areas that I wanted to add more shading later on. And when that was completed, it was time to start adding the blossom. I used 4 different Prismacolor pencils to create the blossom, starting with Processed Red and just using a circular motion with the pencil to create some clouds of blossom along each branch. I didn't want to add individual blossom and just work individually because I felt like it would take away from the natural look of the drawing and would end up looking a lot more awkward. So I just focused on creating clouds of blossom along each branch, and I was happy to overlap the blossom on top of each branch as well. This actually ends up helping to create a layered effect to show where the blossom is actually sitting on the branch. Also in this drawing I'm imagining that the light source is coming in from the top left. So after working with the Processed Red pencil, I wanted to start adding some highlighted sections on towards the top left of each of the blossom clouds. And for this I started with the blush pink, adding the first layer of highlighting, and then on top of that I wanted to add the really bright highlighting to show where the light is actually hitting the blossom. For this I used the white Prismacolor pencil. And then finally, after adding all of the layers of highlighting, I wanted to add some layers of shading to the undersides of each of the clouds, and for this I used the mulberry pencil. And after that I just continued the same process for each of the branches of the tree, and it's just a really fun process to see how the bright colours and the highlights really stand out on top of this toned tan paper. That's why I love using paper like this for drawings in this style, just seeing the highlights really pop out of the page. After adding the blossom, I then wanted to focus on the tree trunk and the branches, using the Prismacolor pencils, starting with dark umber, adding some dark brown, and then I used a black Prismacolor pencil to add the darkest shading along the right side of each of the sections of the tree. This also really helps to make some of the branches stand out amongst the blossom in the areas where it's not overlapping. This creates a really cool layered effect as well. Then once I was happy with the dark shading along the right side of the tree, still thinking about the light source being on the top left, I wanted to add some highlighting with the white Prismacolor pencil along the left side of the trunk and the branches. For the next stage of the drawing, I decided to add some hills in the background with the Cool Grey 3 Copic marker, and then I coloured in the rock formation that the tree is standing on with Cool Grey 5 and 7. I then used the Uniball Signo Broad white ink pen to add some highlighting along the edges of the tree and along the edges of the rock formation, and also brought out the black Prismacolor pencil to add some shading in the area as well. As a final touch to this drawing, I used a mixture of the white, blush pink and processed red Prismacolor pencils to add blossom falling from the tree and to show where it is settled around the tree as well. And after that, this drawing was completed. It's a really lovely one to work on, and I highly recommend giving it a try if you get a chance. I really hope this video helps out in some way, and if you want to see more videos like this, then make sure you're subscribed, and any likes or shares on this video really mean a lot to me. If you want to follow my progress and keep updated with all of the things I work on through the week, then be sure to check out the links in the description box below to check out my Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And once again, thank you so much for the support and thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it helps out and I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you all soon.